We've been deliberating out there. We wrote a number down on the phone and want to see what would your reaction if we wrote a check for this amount right now. What is your thoughts? What is good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a video that's kind of been brewing for a long time now, probably ever since I started making sneaker videos. Today we're gonna look at a potential sneaker store to buy, but a twist to that is the sneaker store doesn't really know that we're coming to do that, which should be pretty interesting. But I've always had the thought in my mind about opening my own sneaker store, and so we've kind of put aside a little bit of like a budget, like a number that we thought of if we can get a store at that potentially we would buy it. Now, we never know if any store is gonna even consider it, if they even want to sell. But today we're going to be going to a store, we're going to be talking to them and see if they're potentially interested in selling their store. Now, there's a lot of complications that are involved with that. There's leases, there's inventory, there's a lot of stuff, but we're going to be getting that information today and kind of seeing what's happening and maybe make an offer. I don't know how serious they're going to take it, but we're going to go ahead and see. I also have to thank NordVPN for sponsoring this video. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. And I also want to get some inside information if they don't want to sell, just like about starting a store. Maybe get some information on how many pairs you should have, how much it costs to get started, so I can give you guys that information and you can learn. So let's go ahead, head to the car and head to the store. So we are taking the truck today, but I don't know if you guys have seen, we got something new in the stable here. That's what you might see in a video coming up. But yeah, we got a nice little Aston Martin going there. We're taking the truck because we need to move all these packages, and maybe we'll be buying their whole store inventory, so we need to put it in the truck. If you guys are unaware, I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this is not the biggest city when it comes to shopping as far as sneakers and whatnot, but we have a fair amount of sneaker stores. I would say in total, we probably have about 5 to 10 consignment sneaker stores. Now, these are spread out all over the city, but this specific one is on Cone Street in Atlanta, which is in the heart of the city, and in my opinion, probably the best location for a sneaker store to get access to all of the big areas. You're gonna get the foot traffic of tourists, you're gonna get the foot traffic of locals, and they also have already had celebrities come through to the store, and it's kind of like becoming one of the places where a lot of celebrities are going to. So that's why this is one of the stores that I want to look into to see, because this would probably be the best out of all of them in my opinion for location, space, for a sneaker store. This place is called Hype 2407. We've been talking to them a good bit now, and we're gonna see. And guys, I'm not trying to go and put these people out of business. I'm not like anything like that. Obviously, if they want to keep their store, they're gonna keep their store, and they probably love it. They moved there probably within the last year, so they're pretty fresh there. But we're gonna see. We're gonna get numbers. We're gonna give you guys information about how this works if you guys want to start your own store, and for me, if I want to start my own instead of buying one. Because at the end of the day, if they want too much money, maybe I decide I want to start my own store. If that's the route I want to go, I can do that after getting this information. Alright guys, this video would not be possible without our sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. If you guys have never heard of NordVPN, or you've never heard of a VPN in general, I've actually been using one for over the past year, and what a VPN does is essentially it protects your data online, whether that be shopping online on public Wi-Fi. It protects your personal data so you're not at risk when you're on these public networks. A VPN especially protects you when you're in public places like coffee shops, if you're checking emails, you're at the airport, you're browsing for some movies, or even if you're at work, it protects all of your own personal data. You never know what's happening with your data when you're on these public networks, and I always, before having a VPN, was worried about what was happening, if anybody was able to access any of my data, and this is a way to protect it. If you guys go to nordvpn.com/harrisonnevel or use coupon code harrisonnevel, you guys can get 70% off at NordVPN and get it as low as $3.49 a month, plus get an additional month free. So go ahead and check that out, links down in the description. Stay protected, guys, and let's get back into the video. Alright guys, we just pulled up to Hype. You guys see some establishing shots of where we are right now in the city. We're in a pretty good spot here. I'm gonna have Khan walk out right now after you guys see a little bit of shots of the store, and we're gonna talk to him a little bit first on the starting of a store. What is the first steps? What is the first step that he thinks about when he's going to start a store? So we'll have him come out from behind whenever he's ready. We got Khan here. You guys have seen it a few times on the video, but we're gonna get started. What is the first thing that you had to do in order to start the store? Like, what's the first step?
First step, opening a store just like any other business. Like, you gotta find location. Like, location is key, not just a shoe store, but to any other business. We first started in 2017 in North DeKalb Mall. Like, it's pretty much like a dead mall, like everybody used to say. But the good thing is the overhead is low.
Like rent and whatnot?
Like just a little over 1,000 for a month for rent. So I would advise people, like when you want to start your store in any other business, you just keep your overhead low.
Expenses, so you don't have too much to cover. That's one of the biggest things that I thought, because we used to go to his mall, and it's nice for the mall when you go in and it's quiet, but then when you get to a place like this, I feel like you're getting more exposure to more people that get to come. So that's kind of like you level up as you go. For me, when I'm thinking over the years, like I've thought, like if I'm gonna start a store, how much inventory do I need in order to start? And so if I had to guess, I mean, I guess you can't put really, it's hard to put a price on it, but a number of shoes, like do you think you need to start with you have to have a solid inventory for people to buy?
On top of my head, I don't know what specific number of shoe you need to start. When we first start, we have about like 200 pairs of shoes. So I would say it depends on how big your store is, so you can adjust the number of pairs of shoes to your store.
That makes sense. And I feel like most people nowadays would start online. Like younger kids who are starting to sell, they start to sell online and then make their way to having, you know, be able to afford going to a store. So how much inventory would you say that you have throughout the store?
In 3 years of business, I think we now have about 800 to 1,000 pairs of shoes. 800
to 1,000 pairs. And like, it all varies on price, obviously based off of, he's got some Freddies in the case. He had to come out and flex on us today. So we're gonna look around a little bit. We're gonna break it down and kind of give you guys some shots of the store and all that, and kind of give you guys a little bit of a background of like everything that's in here, because we come here a lot, but I want to break it down a little bit more than usual. All right, so after we showed you guys around, Khan's hiding back here behind here, I want to ask you, Khan, have you ever thought about selling your store in general since you've started?
Nope, never.
No? Has anybody ever offered to buy your store?
I couldn't remember, probably not.
Probably not. I mean, it's not average at the typical person. So my question to you is, if today I was to write you a check to buy your store, what's your price? It's an on-the-spot question. It's something it's a big thing you'd have to formulate, but what would it take for you to sell your store? So what do you think?
Let me see. On top of my head right now, the number probably no less than 300K with all the inventories.
Yeah, so that would include inventory, obviously, and there's obviously a lot more logistics to that. You have things with rent, you have leases and all that, but that would obviously include. But I feel like, are you ever, if somebody came in here right now and wrote you a check for 300 grand, would you say, let's do it?
Not really, let's do it, but I'll tell him, I'll consider it.
Consider it? Go home a couple days, check it out. No, that's interesting to me, because when you're looking at this, I assume you probably have to buy a lot of collections in order to, or do you do, acquiring shoes, do you do collection buyouts? Like how do you acquire them?
Yeah, like we have people just bring shoes in, buy from them. Like sometimes they bring 1 pair, 2 pair of shoes, but sometimes people, they bring like 10, 15, 20 pairs. And a lot of time we have relationship with different store, and we do like buyout or trade between us and the other store. That's how we get inventory.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would think, because you can't just go on StockX and buy every shoe that you want in your store one by one. You're not getting value there. But I've seen a lot of the time when people do try to sell their whole collection. You go on eBay, you can buy a collection of shoes, but a lot of time they want a premium price. So we're gonna go ahead, walk around outside, show you guys the location too, because what I was telling them on the way here is that the location of this place, I think, is prime for this area. Walker, you get the tourists, you get the locals, and obviously with like the stores next door, you get a good clientele there. So have you been happy with location so far?
Yeah, I'm super happy.
Super happy? Yeah, I told them once they moved here, that elevated to the next level. So we'll go ahead and show you guys some shots of around the area. All right, guys, so we stepped outside right now. Me and Nick are out here. Let's talk, Nick. Let's converse. What are we thinking? Should we buy a sneaker store today?
300 grand, if I'm being honest, was less than I was expecting him to say.
I thought it would be kind of like $1 million.
I was gonna say like 500-600, something like that.
So we got really interrupted by somebody blowing leaves, but we're still gonna try to make this happen. Now, we discussed all that stuff, but now is the point where we have to try to get, if we're gonna try, like, let's say we're realistically want to make an offer because it's something, to me, 300,000 is less than I thought, but also obviously expensive. There's a lot more that would go into it than us just coming here and writing him a check and we own the store. There's a lot more than that. I want to write on my phone a number and ask him if we legitimately wanted to do something at this price, would you do it?
What do you accept? I'd say like maybe a little over like 2.
Again, realize there's a lot more that goes into just buying a store than us walking in and doing this. So this is why we're getting background information. We're trying to give you guys information on like what it all takes to get to a store and get to this point. But for me, realistically, one day I might want to open a store, and this is giving me good insight, and I hope it gives you guys good insight like what it takes, because there are stores that are going to take a lot more money than this. So well, look, we're trying to see what we can figure out. All right, Con. We've been deliberating out there. We wrote a number down on the phone and want to see what would your reaction if we wrote a check for this amount right now. What is your thoughts?
Oh, here's your phone.
So does that mean no?
Yeah, that's a no look pass.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's an answer there. He came up with his number, and his number is solid. And obviously, you're committed to the store, correct? This is your thing. I feel like it'd be hard for you to let go of this. Would you agree?
Yeah, because I started this with my partner from 0.
Yeah.
So probably there's nothing that make me wanna get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's literally my son.
It's your son, yeah. How many years has it been since you first opened the store to where you are now?
Probably 3 years, a little over 3 years.
3 years.
Since 2017.
And you started in the Dead Mall, what is it, North DeKalb Mall? Yeah, that was the start. Cool, well, that's what we thought we'd give an offer, but I assume that's not happening, and we'll continue to keep coming back here and buying shoes from you. So yeah, next video we'll come back, buy some more shoes. So all right guys, well, we're gonna reconvene in the car, but we had to offer something, but sadly got very easily turned down. That's the next reaction. All right, Con, well, we're not doing it today. We're not coming here and buying the store. Maybe one day we'll come back, or maybe we'll start our own store, but appreciate you giving us some information and knowledge on this, because I think it's useful for a lot of people. We're gonna start a store, but any last words?
I'm here to help if you need anything.
Yeah, here to help. Appreciate that, but we're gonna get out of here, guys. We're gonna stop by them, let them get back to business, but we'll check back with you guys in the car when we get out there. So actually, if you guys didn't see the last giveaway we did with Hype, we did a pair of Travis 270s, and you guys went crazy on that. They actually wanted to do another one with the new Chunky Dunky Nike SB Dunk. Like I just talked about them, but I think it's gonna be at the end. We're gonna do a giveaway of this pair right here. This is a size 8, but you guys can get them early. They come out in about 2 weeks from now. So we're gonna do a giveaway. If you guys know the rules for that, it's the same as last time. You just subscribe to the channel, follow me, follow Hype on Instagram, and you have to leave a comment on the post that's on the screen here with the Chunky Dunkies and tag 2 friends, and that's it. Simple as that. And we're gonna be picking the winner probably in 2 weeks time, right around when they're coming out. So go ahead and enter that giveaway if you guys remember from the 270s. The winner of that was a size 8, so it turns out to be pretty cool. So hopefully you guys like this. If it's not your size, just sell them. Make, you know, 800 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever it is. All right, so obviously we made an offer. It was too low. After he told me the number that he wanted, I knew our offer was gonna be too low, but it kind of gave me some good insight on what you need to start, how he started, and what a good plan would be. Now, what do I think is my next move from here? If I get hit up by a specific sneaker store that is looking to sell, I'm gonna look into it. But also, I think a good move for me, which I think would be a good move for all of you guys too, would be to start an online store. Now, that's what I've done, but I'm really just selling the stock that I get from my videos and mystery boxes, but I kind of want to take it to the next level where I do an online store where I get a lot of inventory, I get a lot of stock, and I get better margins and can do better things with you, maybe get my own branding with the packaging and stuff like that. I think that's my next move. I think instead of putting money into a store, I put it into the back end of an online store, invest in a lot more inventory, invest in a space to ship out of, because renting a place just to like ship out of would be a lot less expensive than renting a storefront. And you don't have to worry about customers and stuff with coming in and all that. So I think that might be a move coming up soon. I don't know, we'll see. What do you guys think? You think I should do online for now? And maybe I'll just do pop-up shops for like, you know, I can meet you guys all over and bring some of my inventory, sell it there. I think that would be fun. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that and think into it, see what can happen. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully one day we'll have our own keys to a sneaker store. I think it's possible. We're gonna work on it. I'll see you guys next time. This is Harrison, signing out.